Indiana. They were 14-10. So Mike Woodson announces his retirement. The next day they play Michigan with Dusty May and that whole narrative, right? They lose that game, but they came back. It was actually a better performance than I was expecting. So they're 14-10, 5-8 after the Michigan game. They've won 5 of 7 since, and that includes a win at Michigan State. That includes beating the brakes off of Purdue. I believe there was a 28-3 run in the second half in that win against Purdue. They just beat Ohio State today, coming back from 10 down in the second half. Again, it would have been so easy for this Indiana team to just roll over and die, and Mike Woodson has brought them back from the dead. I'm so impressed at what they've been able to do to get to this point. And it feels like this has been the team that we should have seen all season long, and we didn't. They were 5-8 in the Big Ten at one point, but they're sitting here now. They're 10-10 in the league. They're 19-12 overall. They are going to dance.
Yeah, they're rallying behind Mike Woodson, number one. And number two, they're playing with pride. And he's playing the guys that have pride, right? Trey Galloway had 2 huge threes late in the game today to kind of bring them back. And, you're seeing Malik Reneau play harder now, more consistent. Because I think, again, they've heard the talk. They were embarrassed. Their pride was at stake in this one. And, you should be beating Ohio State at home. Let's be honest here. This shouldn't have been a win they even played with at the beginning of the year, if we had said this. They've underachieved most of the year. And I know this is basically, you could play back what I said 5 minutes ago with Arkansas. You've had a third of a good season. You've had 2/3 where you've completely underachieved. Both of you have spent in the top 5 in NIL in the entire country. And finally you're putting it together and people are going to go, yeah, great job. And ultimately you haven't done what you should have done, because right now you're barely getting in the NCAA tournament. Now, again, maybe you get a 10 seed and you go on a little bit of a run here, but don't get in that 8-9 game. Don't keep winning too much, because if you get in that 8-9 game, you're going to be gone in round 2.
It's crazy to think you would rather be like the 11 seed than the 9 seed this year. That's a wild thing. Even a 10 seed, like if you're the 10 seed, go look at the 7 seeds in our current bracket. It's like Louisville, BYU, Memphis is in there. Like those 7 seeds are a problem. Okay, those 7 seeds are a problem. You don't want to be a 10 seed this year. You want to be an 11 seed. You don't want an 8, 9, 10, 7. Go be an 11 seed. That's the sweet spot right now. So I think this was the long plan, Mike. I think Woody was playing the long game here. I think he was smart. I think he was savvy. I think he
plays the long game a lot.
Yeah, I heard he's got a great he's a great off the tee.
Great long
Mike,
game.
what do you make of this win for Indiana?
I think we were on this show after he announced that he was retiring. We reacted to it then, and there's this something weird happens when there's kind of a shakeup like this, or it's not even a firing, right? Because he's retiring and he's moving on, but there's this weird, like, freeing, liberating thing that comes over a team. We saw it with Ohio State last year. Once Holtman was gone, all of a sudden those players just cut it loose and they could play free of mind. There's no more like pressure and anxiety around every single game and what's going to happen. The difference with Indiana is their coach is still there. And so now he can coach quite literally like there is no tomorrow. And what that has meant for him is, and it's maybe why in the post game interview he's like, maybe I'm leaving too soon. I don't know, because you can't deny that for coaches there is much more going on than just, hey, play these guys, and like there's AAU relationships, there's international ties, there's this and that. I want to spoil this relationship if I don't play this guy. And what happened when the decision was made to essentially step down after the season, Goody played over 30 minutes a game, almost every game. Anthony Leal played almost 30 minutes a game, every game. Bryson Tucker, your 5-star freshman, not playing anymore because you don't care about the ramifications of it, right? And you're splitting these bigs a little bit more with their playing time, and you weren't really doing as much of that before. So what's crazy is I feel like Mike Woodson has almost been able to coach the way he might have preferred to or wanted to without all the external factors, and it's led to more winning So I don't know. It's you know, in the
without
standard
the
for
two
these
bigs.
guys.
You mean he started coaching in the 2020s instead of the
Yeah,
1980s with his two
but
plotting bigs?
I'm even saying beyond that, right? Like it's, you
He's
know,
playing the guys he wants to play. Right.
Playing Anthony Leal 34 minutes a game would have been controversial in November, but it's not anymore because you're like that, especially that
I
fan base is like,
love
we just want to do that plays hard for 40 minutes.
I love
That's it.
Anthony Leal. Like Anthony Leal looks like the single most annoying human being to ever set foot on a basketball court, and that I don't think I could say something that renders more respect. Right? He looks like such a pain in the ass. It sucks to play against him. I understand why Indiana fans absolutely adore that guy. Listen,